Hi there, everyone. Hi there, everyone.
All right. So, hi everyone, and we are streaming from the last stream of this location because after this week we're out, we're done. And my name is Bruce. This is my friend Kai. Kai, you've been in my apartment a couple times, and I lived up in Deer Creek, Illinois. Would you say I'm a fucking hobbyist?
Yes,
Okay. I really miss Deer Creek. I'm not gonna lie. I miss that was such an open wonderful place. It was just the problem of it being in Illinois. Like uh,
I
the,
know.
the income is strapped over there. Moved to Texas about a decade plus ago. Be 15 years this coming year, and I miss Illinois because at the time I had a lot of friends that were there, and we all had good things going on. But my life has improved quite a bit here in Texas, and now I'm going through just a little bit of a dip. Nothing big. You guys familiar with divorce? Okay, so I mean, that just sort of happens. Somebody she got a little upset, she got a little possessive about things, and said that I wasn't giving her time, and I'm like, whenever you want to spend time together, like except for these times here, that's it. Go ahead. You always want to stream. You always want a game.
Yes.
Why wouldn't I? Like if I'm not going to do it, I'm going to type it. I'm going to type about it. I'm going to type a book. I'm going to type a fucking big fucking rule book about it. That's my fucking hobby. That's my fucking thing. I got a desk of miniatures. I got to figure out how to pack this shit away and paints. Fucking all the Reaper paints. I got to figure out how to do this. So it's going to be interesting. But I got good friends around. I know that life always throws us curveballs, and that's just the goal of life is not expect straight down the middle all the time. And I hate using baseball analogies, but everybody gets baseball analogies. So Kai was talking before we started this. We were doing a discussion about the gold standard and how to design a campaign source book. And what you do is you want to, if you are describing a campaign setting, either you do the gigantic Dragon's Eye view of the first edition Forgotten Realms box set, which was a gold standard for many years. And the
Mm-hmm.
second edition AD&D Forgotten Realms wasn't bad either. It was pretty okay. Hey, Crafting Gamer.
The
But
Waterdeep box set exists for a reason.
yeah, they made box sets crazy.
No, but no, we were discussing Patolis, which is the gold standard for what I would consider to be a, a setting book,
Yes,
and it's insane. It's like because I read that book, I'm sorry, I'm not made of money, so I don't have a copy of it.
I I had mine stolen. I had one. It was in good shape. I had the original Rapana Thuck. I had a fucking ask your girlfriend about the dice bag she made me. The triple lined camouflage print with the elastic drawstring.
That
It
walk.
was. I had probably at the very end probably 50 pounds of dye in it, and it wasn't tearing. And I always kept it in my duffel. Somebody took my duffel. I think I know who has the duffel, but I'm pretty certain he's gone now. Sadly, just
Yeah,
he was a nice guy, but there were certain things like politically he would think certain ways, and then whenever COVID came out, mask up, let me get all my vaccinations. He's probably not with us. I hate to say that, but if you do your research, COVID not good for people. The vaccination's even worse. The
yeah,
COVID is a small illness. You have it for a week or two. I had mine for 10 days, and I was in the hospital. It kind of fucked me up. I'm not going to lie, but
yeah.
that's because I have lungs full of silica sand, which is why I can't smoke anymore. Uh,
I I know a friend of mine who's got a long COVID. He caught it and it's fucked him over. It's like to the point where his doctor bills destroyed his 401k plan. Now he's like, well, my retirement plan is dying. So
Yeah, yeah, and I'm looking at kind of the same thing. Like I'm not going to be able to retire, if this is how it is. It's how it is. I can't. I guess I have to work. Thank God I have a job I love. And I know that sounds crazy. I turned down money yesterday, but the reason is that we were going to take a trip from San Antonio after I dumped my truck, and I was going to go from San Antonio down to Kingsville, and then cut across the top of Corpus Christi to Rockport. But the guy that has that account owes us well over 5 digits. And he's like, "Hey, could you pay your buddy? Could you pay Bruce like an extra $250? I really need this done bad." And my boss has asked me, "Do you want to do it?" And I said, "For anybody else, yeah, I'd do it." "What? For anyone else, I'd do it. But this guy already owes you a fuck ton of money, and now he wants you to reach deeper in your pockets and pay me more money on a Friday that I've got off. I'm packing my shit up. I'm getting done with my life on in this house. I'm done with this apartment. Things are in boxes. I only have one more set of totes for laundry. I've got just this room basically is it, and I can either continue on working on getting my life packaged up, hey Travis, or I can do some real work and I can go down south. But that's going to cost you a lot of money because you got to pay me out of pocket. You got to pay the dump. You got to pay diesel, all within 5 to 7 days. And then this guy's not going to pay you for 90, and he already owes you well over $10,000. Well over $10,000. Tell you what, boss, if you want me to go do it, I need you to call him back and tell him he needs to pay up to where he's at $0 on what he owes you. Because if he can do that, then I'll go take care of it, and that means you've got the money to pay me. Because now he paid you everything he owes you, everything. Like it's well over $10,000 that he owes you. And I'm not talking like $12,000. I'm talking like probably closer to 30 to 50K. So I'm not going to go do a job for $750 cash and then have my boss go in a fucking poorhouse. I need a job in 30 days, need a job in 90 days. So I'm going to say no to this job. Thanks,
yep,
Lloyd. And so that was yesterday, and I continue pack. I did quite a few runs to the storage facility. My front room is barren except for the books and miniatures that I've got, but we're gonna start getting rid of those this week. I'll be fine, Lloyd. Don't worry. I'm thinking positive. She's trying to break me down. She's winning so far. I'm not gonna lie. I've spent like $800 on just trying to keep her with gas and smoke. So I'm like, I'm done. Why am I giving you money? This is hurting me. So, um, and I appreciate that, Lloyd. Dude, you're a good kid. You're a good young man. Back to Tolus. Tolus was an interesting book, written by Monty Cook, because Wizards of the Coast hired him on out of Rollmaster Ice. Was it Iron Crown Enterprises that he worked for? Yeah,
I can tell you on that one.
worked for
So
some company called Iron Crown Enterprises, and Ice was doing a really neat thing with their games where they had like you had an ability, you had a you had various books for various systems: Space Master, Rollmaster. Uh, I almost want to say FGU's Aftermath was part of Monty's work as well, but there was a lot of things that he was involved in. So they said we need a third edition, and Ice had skill-rich systems for Rollmaster, for high adventure role playing, the Harp system, not Harn, Harp, and then their Space Master was like Rollmaster in space. If you like Rollmaster in space, I don't know. So
it wasn't bad.
no, it wasn't bad. Here comes Monty, and Monty brings out this skill heavy third edition game, and he needs a place to test it. So he puts a city on top of a sewers, on top of a dungeon, on top of caverns, on top of a dwarven city, on top of a drow city. On what was underneath the drow city? There was something else I thought.
I forgot what's at the very bottom of the thing, but
Yeah, he built this super like this amazingly super campaign system where you would start doing all of your campaign stuff would be basically just you're you're having your game and you go from one side of town to the other side of town. Maybe you use a rickshaw. Guys got huge quads, or you just kind of fast travel across the city, and you've got various places that take you into the sewers. The sewers are not like really good spots. They're kind of nasty, gunky. Part of the sewers leads to like this place where the graveyard necropolis is. Next to the necropolis is like this special fucking center where these gothic, demonic worshiping teenagers and young adults are at, which is really weird and funny when you think about it. And then, like, over here's the Warrens, the ward of the Warrens, which is the smallest ward in the entire city. But the only drow chick in the city they detail is there. And it's an interesting set of rules because Tolis has like other wards, and for every ward they have in the city, they have a separate chapter on it. One chapter's on organizations, one chapter's on the various nobility, one chapter's on like a specific ward of the city, like this is in the nobles district, this is the this district, and so you have this two-column format on all. When you open the book, it's two-column format, and then, hi Coco, hi. Oh my God, Steven, damn it, bro. Okay, so uh, if you're over in YouTube land, we just had some people get gifted some memberships, and
I always miss the memberships.
that's awesome. I thank Steven for doing that. He didn't have to do that. Hardwick Bentho received a gift membership. Coco Beat Gorilla received a membership. Janet from Another Planet received a membership. Maki 90, like, how did you pick all these people? I know all these guys really well. Watcher X42, thank you, sir. Law Bill received a gift membership. Bob Beck, what in the hell, Steven? Stop. Dude, I gave you $20 so you could get some coffee money in you. God damn it, bro. Merry Christmas. But you don't have to do this back for me. I'm just a schlup. I'm just a gaming channel that I'm all right with losing money on a gaming channel, by the way. Hold on. He sent 20 gift memberships. Fat Steve Ball. Thank you. Thank you. Dear Lord in heaven, thank you. And for those that don't know who Fat Steven Seagal is, um, I want you guys, don't just subscribe to him on YouTube. I want you to find him on Rumble. Justice Fats is one of the most amazing channels, but his Rumble side is really good. If you don't have this guy, if you like a common sense individual, then check this guy out. This guy is amazing. Dude, I just wanted you to be able to have good coffee. That's it. I don't know what you like. I just want you to have good coffee, Stephen. I know that this is the season for giving. I'm going to see you alive another night, sir, and I'm going to do this to you again. I just enjoy doing that. Um, but thank you, Fat Steam Skull. I gotta talk about Tollus here. Like, this is what so many of us we kind of cut our teeth in the third edition on this, even though we didn't know it, because when Monty Cook was writing Ptolus, the thing is that Tollus was a test bed for third ed, and he wrote the Dungeon Master's Guide thinking about Tollus. He wrote all of the DMG thinking about that, hoping that you all would get it. Pat Stevens says, I have a Keurig. I have good coffee. That's awesome. Guys, this right here, go to his rumble.com, Addy, and subscribe to him on Rumble because that's going to get you a little bit more mileage. He says a little bit more on Rumble than he does on YouTube. And Fat Steven, seriously, if you come down to Texas sometime, let me know. Get it out there. Get it to me. Either talk to me on Twitter once my account gets unsuspended or whatever. But we need to hang out, dude. I'd be more than happy to sit there and brew up with you. I think you're a great man. Tollus. For me, what it meant was when I opened that book the first time in 2006, you've got this really cool interior art, which they spent a lot of money on. It was a $125 or $150 book, and it was gorgeous. But on the margins, you had kind of like little notes off to the side where you could find more information. And it was kind of like when you open up a comic book and you're reading through the panels, and then it has like an asterisk here, and you go down to the bottom, like what's the asterisk say? Oh, for more information, go to issue 135 or 178. Well, Monty had the same thing in the margins. He would have whole details of stuff in the margins for Tollus. So if you
Mm-hmm.
like Tollus, if you like the idea of a city that was cross-referenced and everything led back to itself, the PDF version of Tollus, all you had to do was just mouse over the shit on the margins and it'd flip you right to it. It was neat. It was one of the coolest things, the coolest books, and everything in Tollus had the theme of connectivity. And what I mean by that is that, like, if you were starting to explore around the various curates and mid-level management of the Church of Lothian, the super theocratic head church in the city, these guys were like the kings of religion in the city and in the local area. It was a ripoff of Christianity if you read like what Lothian was and such, but they had some real neat things in the margins for you to go explore, and they would connect you to various holy sites or places where things had happened for various individuals. But you had to go and follow these little breadcrumbs all around, and that was the great part about Tollus, because just as a designer, the GM, the writer of it wanted the GMs to know more. He wanted them to have like cross rate specialization for every part of the city. And if they didn't know, if they just look in the margins while they're reading through this or flipping through it, they'd be like, oh, that's where this is. Let me go turn to that page. And that was always consistent with every chapter in Tollus. Tollus was a really good series. And if you guys can pick up a copy for your game today, I recommend it. If there's a system neutral version of Tollus, or you can find the original 3.5 for less than $600, that probably would be best for you.
The PDF is worth it, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, the PDF was amazing.
And the bad part is like compared to that book, I've encountered a grand total of maybe two other box sets of just city details that I put in the same category as that. But one of those is an even older set, and that's the Waterdeep book box set.
Eh,
Well, the thing is, that thing gave you the maps of the entire city,
yes.
and you can hang them on the wall, and
Yes.
it would be the size of the wall.
Yes.
So, and then there's another one that I've got that I have, but that's for Legend of the Five Rings, and that was for the Imperial City because it was a kind of important setting for the location in that setting, and that was a very detailed, important book. And it may not be Patolis sized, but it was a massive box set that gave you three major books, location guides to the inner and outer parts of the city, how the palace walls worked, various other things, plus an adventure book, plus a map that gave you the entire Imperial City as a map. And it was a really nice box set. But and again, but that's when you can start to say you have two, one that is a kind of, and one that is a, you can see the love that was put into it,
Yeah.
and that's the strata that you're going to be putting, that you're measuring details on. There's another one that was for Seven Seas that was kind of okay, but it wasn't that. It's Seven Seas, and so it was weird.
Seven Seas, it always seems like it's a system that it's like the little narrative game that should. It
That
should be
could
popular.
have, but didn't.
Yeah, what happened? I don't know. I hear people talk about it. I hear people talk about the fighting styles, about the narrative control, about the various aspects of Seven Seas.
The answer to there is the original company went out of went bankrupt, got bought, reconstituted, bought itself back, and then tried to put out a second edition, but this time with John Wick still involved, and it's a fantastic game that nobody plays, and it's still got it. They're still putting books out for it for the whole. It's like Mage the Ascension for the whole 12 of you out there who actually like Seven Seas. It exists.
Yeah,
It's and it's amazing, and they they actually added a nation with second edition, and you're like, wait, what? You added a nation, and like, yes, we added the Polish Lithuania, it's not Poland faction into the game, and we're like, that's new. So if you wanted to play a an Austrian, Polish, Lithuanian character, you're set. Congratulations, you got an Eastern European Slavic, sorry, Central European Slavic character that you want to be. That fantastic. We got a faction for you if you don't want to play Soviets. Sorry, Russians. And they kept on putting out more and more books that kept on putting the setting more and more into the um, late set, into the lead up to the 1700s. So you're sitting here going, okay, so we have a Caribbean book now. Sorry, it's the not the it's the Caribbean, and then you have it's North America. So now you can have adventures in not North America, not South America, not Central America, not Caribbean, as well as not Africa, not Middle East, and Europe. And we just pretend that Asia doesn't exist because Asia is locked away behind a giant burning wall, and we don't go there. So, but it's
yeah.
got a book too, and we just don't talk about it. It's great.
This right here is so endemic of what I've seen with Seven Seas. Everybody wants to play a great game. Very few people want to start with new characters and just a new start and learn a new system and
Oh yeah,
new. And that's the problem with it. Travis hits it on the head there.
I've got a copy of it. I enjoyed it. I got to play at least two short campaigns before life ended them because we're old people now. Our games just end because life says, "Hey, I got a promotion. I'm not available to play anymore," and the group falls apart. But those two campaigns that lasted about nine adventures apiece proved that they were fun games. Will they last? Do I know they would last for a long time? Well, I ran Legend of the Five Rings for first second edition for several years, so yes, I do. I have a feeling that since the fundamentals of the game are still there, and yeah, the game would probably be still fun. But the thing here is that you got to have a bunch of people who want to play a magical, naval focused role playing game of the 16 and early 1700s because of Age of Piracy game.
Yeah.
So you gotta have people who are willing to go, I understand, but don't at the same time. And in a world where the Vikings weren't quite crushed, The Italian, like Rome's still kind of scary. The Vatican actually has magical powers. The Spaniards have evil fire magic, but nobody admits it. The French can tear holes in reality. The Germans are Germans. England is mostly fairies, just is the Fae. Don't fuck with them. But they're also still England. What the
Okay,
hell?
I'm sorry, but this sounds like it could be that, or we could be playing Torg.
Right?
Did 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 you ever play Torg, the Possibility Wars?
Only a little bit. It wasn't one of my primary games.
Okay, neither did I. And for those that don't remember that, that was a West End Games kind of a box set starter kit, but then had books afterwards. And they really tried jumping into the multi-dimensional stuff that Palladium was really good at, and they couldn't compete. They
Yeah.
wanted to compete. They really couldn't. The separating factor between Torg, the Possibility Wars, and every other game out there was Torg's shtick. There was a drama deck. And so you had various things like you got a card for every session you played. And you have to turn it in, of course, at the end of the session because you can't just accrue a hand of cards. Um, but you had a drama card you had, and you could pull it out at any given time and kind of pull a fast one on the GM and see how good they are at improv. Well, I was at a convention, and this guy pulled out a card, and it was, I think, long lost nemesis. And so, as the bad guy, the hackneyed plot for the convention game was you have this convention going GM that's talking as the big bad, and he's got this monologue he's doing, blah, 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 blah. And so the player pulls up his drama card and he hits him with, I remember you, and I know what your weakness is. And the GM's kind of fucked at this point because now he doesn't have a good comeback for that. Instead of him just thinking of this is science fiction or science fantasy, aha, I've learned since then. I have this magic spell to counter this bullshit of yours. He doesn't do that, and he makes it to where basically the drama card allows the player to showcase a hidden flaw, or maybe the player's character has a talent that normally wouldn't be allowable. But in these games for Torg, the game is already set for the players to win. All they have to do is just play their cards right in the most literal of senses. I'll let you go. Go ahead, Kai. Talk about your game system because I just told everybody what they need to know about Torg. Go ahead with that parallel multi-dimensional system that you
Oh yeah.
have.
So anyway, what I just was describing was the setting for Seven Seas, and the one thing that AEG really did really well was they really wanted character creation is actually simple as fuck. I mean, it is one of the most easiest systems I've ever had to deal with for character creation. It can be complex, it can be interesting, and they added so much things, but basic out of the book, you can throw a character together fast
10 minutes.
and get playing. Like if you knew what you were looking for or what you were doing, you can get a character out. And the most complex thing in it is what's called the fate deck. I mean, it's I mean every nation had its own fate card, like its own fate decks that was tied to it, and you actually needed a tarot card and deck, and you pull out certain cards and shuffle it together and do a tarot reading for your character at character creation, and it gave you something like you've mechanically built your character. It's done, and now here's the wild card aspect. That's going to add something. It's going to breathe life into the character because now it's something that you didn't plan for this. And Legend of the Five Rings, first second edition, was really big in this. I As the games evolved in second edition, Seven Seas, and the later L5R games, they got rid of these.
Was
of these.
AEG the maker or the producers of Seven Seas?
Yes, they were. Yeah, the Alterac Entertainment Group.
Okay,
Um,
the reason why I'm having a stuttering problem with this is that I had a lot of AEG books for third edition when third edition was chumming far ahead,
yeah, that's
and they had made some Rokugan books for third edition, and I had all of those, and that was a bad choice.
what you were missing was the fact that okay, so when I mentioned that AEG went out a bit, like went bankrupt, they really didn't. They got bought out by WotC. WotC bought them because well they were needing some money, and well WotC is the king of CCGs, and we're the king of role playing games at that point. And well, WotC decided to put out two books that were trash books. They pretty much bought the Legend of the Five Rings setting, did nothing with the card game, which was a shame.
It was well, it was up against their baby. It was up against TCG,
Bought
Magic
yeah,
Gathering.
it's Magic. And so what they did was they put out one expansion pack for L5R in Magic, and then they just put out a bastardized shit version of Legend of the Five Rings as Oriental Adventures. And it was like somebody who read the cliff notes. Okay, before we started into this, I mentioned the idea that somebody goes to Chat GPT to AI and says, "Do something for me," and then they vomit out something. It's obvious that the WotC writers who wrote Oriental Adventures Third Edition, which was just Legend of the Five Rings with a few bits of garbage converted badly into Third Edition, put out a dumpster fire, and that was what I what Oriental Adventures was. The thing was the AEG still had some rights, some ability, and so they put out a series of books that were band-aids, attempts to fix what WotC had done. Like they knew they didn't have control of their baby anymore, but they could put out all the third-party material, and so they fixed Oriental Adventures. The problem is that you had a bunch of people who go, no, 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 no. If you're going to rape my baby, let me at least put the band-aids on so it lives after you're done. Well, the thing is that WotC also did the exact same thing to Seventh Seas.
Yep.
And that book, the WotC book, was miserable as shit. So AEG came out and band-aided the hell out of it. The problem is you having a very beautiful role-playing game being slapped into third edition. And but the I forgot what the book's title was for the Seven Seas module. But they had but AEG put out their third party expansion pack for that book because WotC didn't do anything after they released the book. They're like, one book, we're done. We got what we needed, and it was miserable. And AEG put out all the stuff. The problem is that to understand fully what AEG was doing with their Band Aid was you needed to know what the material that they were pulling from was, because like all the really good material was actually still sitting in the first edition Seven Seas book or in second edition Legend of the Five Rings, and because all that material was right there. But the thing was so there's a bunch of feats that are actually in the AEG Pirates book, and you're like, what the fuck are these feats? And then you realize, no, all those feats are actually the background traits that you got in the role playing game version. These came out of your fate decks, and these are your actual background feats. Like, so instead of getting your free feat that you get for being a human, if you're from Montaigne or I'm from Vodasay, you got a selection of feats that came from that background. And here's the background, and here's how to do it. And if you knew the original fate cards and the original background advantages, you could go back to the storyteller version and go, oh, I can convert this now perfectly. Like this, like they knew what they were doing. The problem is that if you weren't familiar with the advantage disadvantage system that came out of first edition, it's a confused, like this is all trap, like this is garbage. Like how does this fit in with my D&D game?
Yeah.
And then you realize, no, this is a band-aid done by people who love the game, who are trying to fix it, and then they fixed it over a bunch of books that really weren't, that could have been better, but WotC dropped the ball hard. But then again, that's why AEG. But when AEG bought the rights back, finally, when WotC's like, "This is trash, we're dumping it here, just pay us for it, and we'll get, like, we've already gotten what we want from it. Here, have it back." Um, AEG, like all the fun people were gone by this point,
Yeah. All
and
the little shit. They're gone. They're out.
yeah, all the good people, all the fun people are left, which is the reason why if you're a Legend of the Five Rings fan, at least in my book, the fun in third edition on forward for L5R is gone. Like the artwork changes, the story gets much grimmer and darker and more serious. Like all the fun is gone from the setting. Like all the they tried to balance the game, and in a storyteller focused game, you really can't play balance it. But they wanted to like balance everything, and I had some fights with some people over this, over the fact that I wanted the I wanted the crazy of first edition. I wanted the crazy of second. And people who are like, no, no, third's okay. Third's okay, but they didn't bring some of the schools back. Or they changed the schools. Or they got rid of families and they changed how the clans operate. And by fourth, I'm sitting there going, okay, so what if I wanted to be a Shinjo family, Bushi, and I want this combination of this, like, not available anymore. But what if I want to play in an earlier era? Well, the game doesn't support that stuff anymore. Like it's all changed now. Like it's nobody has that. It's been changed entirely. You can play now as a Shinjo Scout, and I'm like, but I don't want to play a Shinjo Scout. I want to play a Shinjo Bushi. I
Yes.
want to play a swordsman's class. I don't want to play a guy who sneaks around in the bushes. Well, the story changed by this point, and so eventually, because all the fun got, the production quality went through the roof, but nobody was playing it anymore. The game was no longer fun. It was super serious, and like if you were into the LARPing part, oh heck yeah, it's fucking still great. But the fun like the fun was gone, and then the game dies, and then the worst company in the entire universe ends up buying it, and they reboot the entire game, change the entire format, and now we all get to play with funny dice.
Hmm.
I hate funny dice.
I hate Vizachi dice.
Yeah. And it's like, now you have to roll dice and interpret it. And like, L5R is not an interpret game. L5R is like distinctly a I hit you, you died game.
Yeah.
Like, its lethality is high. Its magic system is insane. Now the brilliance, I mean, now mind you, they had been taking away all the fun for years, so all the brilliance and flexibility and fun was going away for static results, and you know what's going to happen. You can easily predict. You can't just simply go, I do raises and I do something fucking weird and awesome. Same thing with Seven Seas is, I got drama dice, I spend drama dice, crazy things happen. You can be boring or you can be dramatic. And remember, you can have as many drama dice as you want, but you're fueling the GM to have drama himself. because the more dice you put, and you take as drama and to make yourself more dramatic and more awesome, the more amazing you're going to make the NPC. Because your GM is going to be like, and you fight your arch nemesis, but because I have 7 drama dice in my pool, you've killed him, but he's not dead. Dun dun dun.
Or worse yet, like his twin brother comes out from the
Yeah,
shadow.
and suddenly you realize you're playing in a soap opera, and when you realize you're playing in a novella, you're like, oh, oh, so I have defeated this guy, but his twin brother has arrived by ship who's got cannons, and he is angry for he had watched his brother die, and now he's going to bombard you with cannons. What do you do?
Who here watches Telemundo for fun?
Yes,
I watch La Familia. I'm not gonna lie. I love La Familia. It is a horrible Mexican soap opera, and it has so many bad characters, but there's so many good ones.
oh yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that the more you encourage your players to be over the top and stupid and fun, the
Please.
more you get to be over the top, stupid, and fun. So it does rapidly become this is a soap opera. If you realize this is a Three Musketeers soap opera, and this is a Count of Monte Cristo. Cristo. This is the Three Musketeers. This is Man in the Iron Mask levels of. So what are we doing? Well, at this point, something cool happens, and well, I think we're at a lull point. Why? Nobody's taking drama dice. We're all boring. Quick, make drama happen.
I love it. I
And
love it. It's such a wacky show, and
yeah,
if you can get that level of wackiness in your game, that's what you want. Seriously.
yeah. AEG now is just pretty much dead. There is no fun left in it.
No, it's gone.
And it's, I mean, John Wick. John Wick resurrected Seven Seas. L5R died a miserable, miserable death because, well, you let Fantasy Flight touch it, and Fantasy Flight can't do anything and keep it running, and because Fantasy Flight can't write themselves, they can adapt somebody else's lore, but they can't write their own. And because I'm not a fan of their Star Wars system, I wasn't. I played their first edition. I enjoyed their first edition Warhammer 40k stuff, but they lost the license to that. But and I wasn't a fan of what they did, and I wasn't a fan of the living card game stuff that they were really pushing for a while. Where it's like it's competitive living. You just gotta buy the no. This is dumb, and I wasn't a fan of it. And I had somebody who knew I was an L5R fan. He goes, Fantasy Flight bought it, cool, and it's got these cool dice. Oh God, no! And since nobody sold those dice, you had to assemble your own out of paper. And I'm like, I don't want to paper craft my dice. And that's how you had to play. And I'm like, at first, and I'm like, this is terrible. The artwork is boring. It's modern. It's modern. It's the same reason why I'm not a big fan of I know the game mechanically is a much better system, but Exalted Third Edition was is boring. The artwork is it's pretty, but it's boring. What's this?
This is Soyara Montenegro. She is. I thought it was La Familia, but this is actually a show called. It was a remake of The Rich Also Cry. And after this lady saw her niece kiss her boyfriend, she cries in Spanish, and she's the bad girl of this TV show from like 1995, 1996. is one of the greatest memeable Tex-Mex things you'll see. And this lady, I absolutely adore this lady. The Soyara Montenegro starter pack, a little bit of O2 tank, your lipstick, the Aquanet. Always need Aquanet. The gun and the oversized sunglasses. This is it's just the sort of thing. Like there's a in Alice, Texas, where I was at for a while. This was like on for 5 hours a day. This was worse than Johnny Quest in middle central Illinois.
Oh
This
dear
was
God.
so much every day, and it was just a show that ran for like a single or two, maybe 2 years. They made like 90 episodes, and it was just a sitcom, but it was like this roller coaster sitcom where I felt like I was watching a Bollywood movie where like 1 minute I'm crying, the next minute I'm laughing my ass off, next minute I'm like, oh my god, I'm intrigued. Like they took you through all the emotions within 23 and a half minutes, like all of them. You hit all of them. You hit rock bottom. You apologized. You called your buddy up after watching the show. I'm sorry I was angry with you, man. I love you. It was the funniest fucking show, and sadly, it's in syndication. It's on the interwebs now, but this is Maria de la de Barrio, and it's basically called "The Rich Also Cry." It's a remake of the show from the '70s, but it's very iconic for meme culture. God bless him.
Now, to roll us all back to the original thing that we were talking about way before we started even streaming tonight, all of this revolves back to
Connectivity,
people. What was that?
connectivity, but never mind. We're going back.
Yes, connectivity, but also back to people who love like how you can tell the difference between somebody who creates something and loves something versus somebody who just reads a Wikipedia article, reads a summary, or asks somebody else for a Cliff Notes version, and then goes, "That's good enough." When you hit a button and the computer generates for you a city, and that's it. Well, what do you do with it? Do you know what's in it? Do you know why it's there and why its location? I know some of us have done the trick of throw dice on there and then draw the outline around it and then start filling in. The thing is that we're you're
What?
world building.
I've never done this before. Explain.
Okay, so what you do is you take a pile of you put a sheet of paper down, take a pile of dice, and you drop it on a table, and then you draw an outline around the dice. Maybe you might get like cluster over here, cluster over on another side, and then you get like some islands around, and then now you have a general shape, and then you kind of fill in the rest of the island, and congratulations, you've created a landmass. And now you can start figuring out, yeah, okay, so there's a mountains along here. You can start filling in the trees and the river. Start using your knowledge of how worlds work. How a planet functions, and go, okay, so mountains are here. This is where you're gonna have trees. It's gonna be a rain. The rain shield's gonna be on the other side of it. You're gonna start filling in where mountains and rivers come in at. You can start figuring out the geology, and then start filling in the world. And it's a trick that some people do when they're just like, I want to create a setting. Okay, now I've started. I can start filling in things, and now once you figure out where the good, once you've done the homework, you're going, okay, so this is where I think rivers are going to be. This is where some lakes are at. This is how the hydrology works. You can start figuring out the weather, terrain from that, and then start building that. So you can start going, okay, so this is where cities are probably going to be at. This is the coastal. These are the rivers. This is because that's how civilization works. Is that you need to be near water, so lakes, rivers, and you start building out. Suddenly, you've world built. It started out as some dice on a table on a sheet of paper and a pen, and within a day or couple hours of work, you've got basic a basic overview of a world. Now, mind you, these days you can just go to the computer and hit a button, and the computer gives you everything. You, it's giving you terrain, weather, hydrology. It's got everything. It's telling you where the cities are all at, and you're like, okay, did you put like now you got to put all the work in and go. You got to start working backwards and filling in all the blanks, and but you've already missed part of it. Well, the thing is that say we build a you or I we just throw a city down, and so we got an idea of what it looks like, and but so we know like okay, so this is where town hall, this is going to be the merchant district, it's going to be over here, this and that, and so we got this idea that we're playing with in our heads of what we think this town's got. It's got a university, it's got this, so we'll start figuring out and filling out the town, and it might take you a couple hours of work, but you now have a town in your head. You've put it on paper. You've got an idea. Do you have a layout for it? You probably don't need a layout for it, but some of us do kind of want to have a layout. But I mean, it's going to be like important for like a fight or a chase in the town later because I actually did that I did that on accident.
I did a lot of chases in Tolus, man.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That town's made for it though, because it's a river town. And whenever I'm talking about a river town, like you've got all these curvy roads, nothing's straight east, west, north, south bullshit, because everything is built on hills. And so the constant
yeah,
thing, you're always going up or down. It's
yeah,
always three dimensions. Go ahead.
yeah. No, but the thing is like, yeah, like a couple of the cities that my players have built or I have built, we actually had a fight, an actual fight breakout in one of the towns that the party had actually designed, and I'm like, hey, pull out the map of the town you guys have been building, and like, yeah, all right, bam, here's the buildings that are in the area, and all right, now we got an actual fight, like now we have terrain, like you guys have actually built you're going to be fighting in the area that you actually built, and that made it kind of cool. Thing is that my players thought about that. Suddenly, the whole like the character of the city changed at that point. When I'm playing in like when I run in Patolis, I I can at least go. Here's the main streets. Here's the main streets that are going to run next to the graveyard, and here's the tower that you're going to be dealing with, and all the things that you're going to work towards because there's enough things in Patolis to do that you never have to actually go into the sewers and go deep. You can spend the entire campaign in the various service districts.
You never had to go down below. You could always have a complete campaign, literally on surface of city.
Yeah,
And
and
do you remember the very end of the book after you read like the giant ascent through the spire?
oh yeah,
You find the book and destroy the book, the source of all evil, and it frees the planet from wherever it's at, and you can port it where we need to with other gods, etc. But like the one thing they suggest is after you have that first campaign down, now start a campaign where the player characters are members of the city watch and
mm-hmm.
just go from there. Just make it open ended. They don't have to stay on the watch, but they're doing stuff and they're being part of like the movers and shakers eventually, or they get involved with like organized crime in that fight.
I won't. I won't lie. I changed the name of Patolis in my campaign world, and I think I had the party do at least five different campaigns. Either were centered in that city, or ended up having to deal with that city repeatedly to the point where, in one of the campaigns, the city literally by that point in the campaign was like this independent city state that just existed to annoy the fuck out of all my players because they're off empire building playing not kingmaker but playing we're city and we're kingdom builders over here in the plains outside of Patolis, and then every once in a while they go have to deal with the city itself, and the city just tells them to bugger the fuck off because no matter what the fuck they bring, they're not the city, and
No.
it the city with all its guilds and all of its councils and all its fun existed just to tell my players no repeatedly at all times. And they would show up, be imperial dickheads, and then realize that the city could just go, no. And they're like, but, no. And if we have to, we'll call a drow. And that's when one player goes, wait, you guys have drow? Yeah, we've got drow. And then I had one player go, how have you never told me this? How have you never told me that there's drow under this city? And I'm like, it never came up. Hey there.
Nerdy.
Watching a player go, how much of the city do we not know? And I'm like, a lot. And I'm like,
Did they start bumping into drow fairly early?
no.
Okay.
They somehow managed to avoid the districts with the districts where the drow were busy at. And were busy at. They were doing other things in other parts of the city. And I'm like,
I
they never
don't,
had to.
I don't remember making the drow a focal point or a fucking subject, like a side subject, until there was a situation where they had to go in the Warrens, and the lady that ran the orphanage, the only structure in the Warrens that was permanent, everything else is all shanties. Orphanage was like one of those things that like they knew there was a problem, and that's the only structure in the Warrens itself. But she is the headmistress of the Warrens, and that's the one drow that's in the book.
Yep. And the party knew of her, that was her, and then wrote it off as, well, of course there's going to be at least one drow floating around. But
Mhm.
when you mention there's more, and then one player goes, what do you mean there's more? Because the first they ever went down in earlier campaigns was into the sewers. And that was the it. And that, they didn't go any lower. Because the campaign was more fun upstairs.
Yeah, it was all movers and shakers and intrigue. Who gets to that? That's a fun fucking campaign for me.
Yeah. And like going down into the sewers was no. There's other people whose job is do that. We're not those.
Mm-mm.
And I had one group die in the tower, in the spire. They like walked in, went up like a floor, then died. And then the next campaign started, and they all looked at the tower and went, we're not going up into that thing. And I'm like, why? Because that tower eats people. And we laughed. And it laughed because I'm like, the spire exists. Like, yeah, it's a beautiful spire. It's over there. We don't go near it. Like, we're going to be over here doing things. And I think eventually, after like a couple time jumps and some other thing, I had a Rakshasa end up like a head of one of the guilds, and he lived exclusively to make the party miserable at all times because they're like, we're rich and powerful, and the Rakshasa goes, I have more money than you. I have more money than God. I have this city. What do you got? It was a fun game. I love that city. And I crack it open periodically for fun.
Did you ever read through the adventure set in Tolis called the Bane Warrens?
Yes.
Okay, that's a neat campaign because it starts off with like there's a guy wandering around, a half orc, and he's trying to sell his magical sword because he's on his luck, down on his luck, and he's got no capacity to make real money. And as he's walking through like the downtown of Tolis, like all of a sudden he just starts like shitting magic missiles. And yeah, because like he's done something or he went somewhere and he touched a piece of underground radiation, and now he's just latently triggering off magic missiles, and they're unerringly hitting someone in the crowd, and that starts going off. And then it's kind of weird because as he does that, somebody starts levitating and they go up like 300 feet in the air and they stop like they're on an invisible geyser. Oh my God, help me, help me, help me. Ah! And all these weird magical effects start happening. And then you go down and you find that there's a beholder sized tunnel and it stops at this wall of force, and the beholder tunnel stops right there, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? And if you come down there again, the beholder comes back recharged, ready to go do stuff, and he takes down the wall of force, and then he lets his friends in, and that's the vault of the Bane Warrens, where like all the bad evil shit that you find in the Friday the 13th TV series is hidden under the city. And it's just like a clusterfuck. You don't run this campaign with evil players, evil characters at all, because they won't take any money for reward. The Bane Warrens, like the vault where all the evil shit's at, that's all the reward they'll ever need. They'll take over the world with what's there.
I had I didn't run that part of it, but I had a similar thing that happened. Now,
Mm-hmm.
because I was running for a very, very, very long time for the campaign, and I've had a lot of players who have all done the exact same thing. The I'm going to say the Janet response because that's the most today was the most recent example of we don't we're players. We don't want to deal with evil, so we're going to lock it in a box. And we're going to put that box in a safe place, guarded by good guys. So that way it'll be safe. And I have seen this now in under multiple GMs, multiple games, multiple campaigns, where every time the party finds something that they can't destroy, that it's evil, they just go find the local paladin dump and then hand the ultimate evil items to the paladins. Because
Oh God.
obviously the group of goody two shoe good guys will because when I heard Janet suggest, well, the evil sword of demons, we should probably take it and go give it to some paladins or to the church or something. And I'm like going, oh my god, it doesn't matter what campaign, who's running it, or what. The moment something the ultimate evil that's been around for a very long time, we can't possess it, and it'll be bad if we're the ones who are holding it. So we should to get for the goodness of everybody, get rid of it. But we can't destroy it, and we don't want to go on the on the the fellowship journey. So we're going to take it over to Bob's holy item dump and drop it off. We're done with it. Let's go on with our adventures.
Oh my God. Okay. There's a lot of love that comes from Janet to the rest of the parties she's in, and she's a benefit
Oh
as a
yeah,
GM.
completely.
As a GM, I've got to say she's the best player I've had in years. Like, rarely do I lean on players so much, but like Janet, that's my ride or die. Like, she's
Oh,
been there, my thick and my thin. She's been a good friend of mine for 3 years. She's no longer because of what happened last week. Last week she casted like a mass protection from evil spell, and everybody got it. And one thing it did, it like warded you from like evil control or spirits, or you can't be
yeah.
magic jarred or whatever. Good spell.
Oh yeah.
And something happens where Bruce comes along with like evil bad guy, and he's trying to cajole players to do stuff. And Janet's like, actually, Bruce, the spell says this, and I'm like, what? She's like, look on this page and the spell says this, and I'm like, Google blah 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 protection from evil mass or whatever it is, and I read it, and Janet has effortlessly transcribed the spell, and she's made it to where that level of gamer is when they can read a mid to high level Pathfinder spell and ascertain that this is exactly why it applies and when it should kick in. And she got it. She
She's
got it.
now a gamer. Congrats.
She's now a gamer. She's one of us. One of us.
That's
One of
right.
us. And I'm so
But
proud of her for
now,
doing this. She's got it.
she's a delight because she said what so many other groups have said and done, and I laughed to myself because it's a universal statement. We obviously the Vatican vaults exist, so therefore,
Oh God!
but now I had by this point almost 20 years of players dumping major villain items, and I had a list of them. Who I had because I kept a list of all of them. I've lost that list now, but for a long time I had that list of every major magic item that has been dumped in this vault. And then one of my players, because I don't tell them that they have to be good, one of my players watched the party take a major item because he was a new player,
Yeah.
go to the vault of paladins, dump them off, and he's like, and he asked one of the other players who's been in there for a while. He goes, "Do we do this? Is this something that happens all the time?" And they're like, yeah. Whenever we I find a major magic item, we just take it here for storage. And he's like, and he looked at one of the other players, the teacher who I work with, who he had he was here when he was my friend gaming with him when we were in high school, and then he left to go have a life, marriage, kids, college, travel the world, and then came back to my campaign world, and then who has been there been there on and off since we were kids, looked at this kid and went, yeah, yeah, we've been doing this for decades. And then he stopped and went, really now? Decades. And then he started planning and scheming for months of real time as the campaign was playing. He's sitting here trying to I want to break into this vault and steal everything that's in it. And he's finding he is creating the Legion of Doom to create a distraction so that way he could go into the vaults and loot all the major villain items that have ever existed, and then escape with them. He's like, if I'm carrying everyone's there's got to be enough gear in there to cover every single item slot I have plus some. And I'm like, well, you don't know what's in there. He goes, I don't need to know. I just know that. As he looks at his teacher, who's my friend, and goes, I know that because my friend is one of those people who goes, no, we can't be trusted with this, so we have to get rid of it because I don't trust myself with this, so therefore I don't trust any of you with it, so we're gonna go lock him in a vault. And so yeah, it's Warehouse 13. It's Friday the 13th.
I don't
It
know
is
why this is how all players think it works.
yeah.
But yeah, it's like something has happened in your childhood where you think you can just dump it wherever all the paladins are. You want to know what I would do if there was a Vatican City in my campaign world? How would I test the purity level of my priests and paladins?
Tempt him with the most evil items ever.
I would put an orphanage on the grounds and just see how much of that shit gets fucked up.
right. And the thing here is and the thing is, I have been in other, because you remember Dave and Sue Kinsinger, right?
Yes.
Their long running fist cycle game had the exact same thing happening. Like, they found a holy temple filled with holy warriors and pure good people, and then built a vault full of where they put all the evil stuff at. And then I had my players find a vault full of, and I'm like, and even as groups leave, like players are leaving, new people are coming in, and new people who never knew Dave and Sue, who never knew my original gaming group, are doing the exact same thing. I'm at some point I'm wondering, I as a GM, I'm not telling you that this place exists. I mean, it exists, but I'm not telling you it exists. I'm not telling you that this happens. But for some reason, everyone thinks there has to be some kind of Vatican super vault of where you could put all the ultimate evil and it will be sealed away and you'll never have to deal with it again. And
No.
I'm like, um,
Everything is
no,
safe now. Don't you feel safer?
yeah. And it's like that player, he did it. He walked in, grabbed all the magic. Like, he did pull off his ultimate scheme. He had a big giant fight, had a huge thing, and he got betrayed by, and he went in there, got all the things, and quite literally all the villains who he made deals with betrayed him immediately because they're villains.
Yeah, they're bad guys.
They're the bad guys. He thought he could be one of the bad guys with the rest of the big baddies. And suddenly the bad guys got to have all their stuff back. I mean, well, they're not the same bad guys, but well, okay, all the evil shit in the world got back out in the world, and the campaign became tracking down all the bad shit and putting it back in the damn vault because the party never fucking learned.
No,
They just built a bigger, deeper, safer vault.
they never do. Like we just need a bigger vault. We just need a taller wall. We just need a bigger place to stack more paladins on their sides. And
Right? And and the thing was because I asked one of my older players who life said he couldn't play in the game anymore, but I asked him, hey, one of my other players, like one of my current players, is looking for your character because you're a questionably evil person, and he's like, I am of questionable evil character because, and that was an actual plot line of due to some other bad things that happened, but good character who became evil but still is technically at their heart good but not, and but he was playing into that. He's like, no, my character is definitely still around. It's still doing evil things, but I'm lawful evil. So when this this kid who's like, hello, Mr. Lawful Evil person, I would like to kill paladins, and then the lawful evil character's like, keep talking,
yeah,
and and then as soon as he does the evil scheme, the lawful evil character is like, yeah, I don't trust you. Stabby stabs and just kills the character. And I'm like, what do you want me to like? I even asked that player, like, what do you want me to do to the to the kid when he does his evil scheme? And he's like, stab, stab. Like, it was a much more complex, but in short, stab him. Like,
yeah.
in the back, he goes, no. I want to look in the eyes when I stab him, please. Thank you. I'm not a coward. And but it was a fun moment that nobody learned a goddamn thing from. They just made smaller vaults and hid them all over the place, which is kind of like what you were. Hey, look, an angel has been bound to the front door of this place where the evil sword is at.
And did you like that? Did you like what I did? Did you
I
love?
loved it. I
Okay,
loved it. Like in the back of my head, I had like four different ways that this could have played out if I was running it. But I liked how it played out. Freed her from the circle. She walked backwards, got fried.
and,
Poof.
and everything abided by the fucking rules. Like as soon as she fell back, I rolled a die. She blew her fucking save. Oh, what was the caster level for this fucking disintegration? 17, so that's 34d6. And I saw that
Did
that's 130% more hit points than what you got. So, all right, well, you find like the bits of ashes and shit, and like that it's mixed in with the armor and the giant sword. Have fun. I
right?
can't wait. I cannot wait for the players to turn in the sword and the armor and try to get money from it. Somebody's going to look at that like, are are you seriously going to try and sell this gigantic, holy, flaming sword, this huge, flaming, holy sword at my little shop?
I have not.
I I can either try to sell it or get it to the guild, and I can give you your money in about 5 to 8 months. Or here, I'll give you an address you need to go to and talk to them, and they'll take care of the trade goods situation. Because this, we're talking about tonnage of how much you're going to receive back. We don't have the money in this town to cover this sword.
You need to go to a much bigger city for this. For this,
Exactly, and once the players start talking to people, like it'll solve itself. It'll solve itself. But the players just need to do a little bit more talking. And Durbanford is a city that wants to be tollless. Like somebody read Tollis at Necromancer Games and like, I want to try this, but I'm going to take a city that looks like it was out of Daggerfall, Bethesda Softworks 1995 blue screen and death game, and they're going to fucking make that into Tollis. And there's a bunch of like connecting parts. I have a hardcover that it has a very aspiring story and a real neat way of how everything fits together theoretically. But when I start running the series of events in the game, I'm seeing why when I look up the Trouble at Durbanford, it's a 2 out of 5 star game series or a campaign game. It ranks very low amongst so many people, and I'm
dirty.
trying to like avoid all of the pitfalls because I've got a knowledge of what people have done before. So I'm trying to just seed the game with things that will help the players out before they start getting into pitfall territory. Okay, here we
Nerdy.
go.
That is the perfect. I love this idea. The big bad evil guy creates a vault to hold the science items the world ever known, hires paladins incarnate, adventurers bring him all his stuff, eat, no effort, win, profit.
I can't guard this vault, so I will hire you to hire other paladins. You will be lawful neutral. They will not see through your alignment buffer that you are actually lawful neutral with evil tendencies. And I will stand behind, and I will just have I will do the audits every spring and just see what new things have came in.
Yeah, that's hilarious. It would work for one of my games because that would actually legitimately be. That would. I could think of at least 3 organizations in the campaign world that, when I was running it, would have fit that definition, and it is perfect. I completely think it's a great idea, and yeah, that's a seal of approval right there. But I guarantee most players, because we're all programmed that church is good, um, Therefore, Holy City good, therefore we trust good, would fall for this in a heartbeat. They would be like, I'm done. Like we believe that this is how it works. This is all good and stuff. Because there's obviously no such thing as any form of argument within the faith of our church, because our theology is very, very basic, and we don't believe in complexity because there's alignments and we have multiple gods, so we don't need to worry about anything. Even though the fact that it's like, no, you misread paragraph 2 of section 4 of book 6 of our holy text, and because you think there's a period, not a comma, you're heretics and we must destroy you. And there's no infighting at all like this at all within any one group. It's like, no, you're of my faith, therefore you're of my God, so therefore there's no way you will ever be willing to betray me. And then they'd be like, do you believe in red or blue candles? This is a theological debate we've been having since the 4th century. Red or blue? This is critical. You need to know. I don't. I didn't think this. Roll your theology check. He might be other heretical blue sect of candle users. This is very critical. Critical in this particular sect's prayer books. And since you're using red candles, we need to kill you. What? No, you're heathens and heretics. We need to spurn you. But we both believe in the gods of healing. I'm sorry, you need to die. What? This is just how fucking things work, dude. But D&D isn't this complex. Yeah, sure. Or just simply the idea of, I'm sorry, we don't believe in giving out free magic. That's for the peasant sect. We're not the peasant sect. We're the actual upper class sect. But it's healing. No, we're the capitalist sect, not the peasant, not the communist sect. Back the fuck off with your free healthcare shit. But, I'm being a dead mother. Sorry, we're the Church of Prophet here. But we're all health and good. No. But I've had like this is the conversation I had drinking with a friend of mine who was doing theology. Who's the two of us were just joking about how simplistic D&D face are, and how we like to make jokes about shit because, well, we like how simple D&D is, but the two of us got out this chart that shows the evolution of every single branch of Christianity. We had another chart that had every single branch of Judaism, of the Muslim faith, and we had charts for a good number of different religions. And we were looking at and tracing all the various subsections and factions and what caused each schism and breakup. And we were like going, and then we're like D&D, D&D is like, fucking, we're not even trying here. It's like, oh, it's the power of good and evil. And then we're like going, okay, so we're just doing a very simplistic version of Persian Assyrian faith. We're just transmitting it over this and then throwing it. And we're like, do we even bother to do this when there's somebody who's not having willing to go and pull Zoroastrianism into it, or Hinduism? Like, we're like, because we could tell there's a whole lot of faiths here that are all mixed into this jumbled up pile of trash that we call D&D divinity, and we're sitting here laughing, going, "Oh God, no!" Because we have to be careful over the fact that, well, we live in America, so everything has to be about Jesus. And we're playing a polytheistic game about good and evil and all this other shit, and some very, very, and we're sitting here going, no. Don't bother to overthink this. This is what we're gonna do while we're 3 shots into a whiskey bottle, and talking about no. How stupid can we get this? How dumb can we make this thing before somebody wants to stab us? Before a Baptist explodes through the door and starts stabbing us for being, well, heretical to a bunch of evangelicals. And we're like, we're already close to being this by even talking about this, and it got even worse and worse. And we were just laughing about how it's like, no, we could totally have an entire like like 3 sects of it and 3 sects of the, well, we have the goddess of love and good and protection and the Care Bear Den Mother god that every game has, because every game has to have the Care Bear Den Mother god or goddess, probably goddess, because it's the girlfriend god. Then we have the god of paladins and holy righteous virtue Batmanness, and then we have no one else matters because everything else is not those two. And Tree Hugger and Squirrel and 5 Flavors of Evil. There we go. There's your. Oh, sorry. And we also need to have the generic god of law. What's your thing? Lawful neutral. I'm the god for the people who don't give a shit, and nobody else matters, because nobody else is going to be fucking worshipped by a player.
No.
And we're like sitting here laughing about the fact that we could go hog wild with this shit and make so many different versions and interpretations, and we're like, yeah, it's like, hey, do you think our game has had has had the conclave yet? And where we actually wrote down the book, and they're like, oh fuck no, we're still in medieval. We haven't had Vatican 1 or 2 yet. Oh shit, we can have some real fucking chaos now. Oh yeah, we're gonna murder some knights. Yeah, we're gonna murder some. We're gonna murder some holy orders. Why? Because they pissed off a king. But they're paladins. Fuck, it doesn't matter. They have cash. The king doesn't. The king wants your cash. He declares you a heretic. Your order's on fire now. You're now a rogue knight who's got a rogue knight paladin who's got no backing. Congratulations, you're level 1. You were pushed out a door by an old man while the castle was burning with a map and some beaten up armor, and said, "Go be a level 1 adventurer." And remember, don't tell anyone that you're from the order of rich people, of good rich people. But if I say that, what happens? They'll kill you. Oh, this should be a plot point. Yeah, that's a plot point. Okay, thank you. And then you just go off and have adventures. It's like, this is stuff to fuel adventures. Now, mind you, we stopped working on this idea because we were like, this is too complex for most people who come into a game and go, I don't know, I just go to church on Sundays and that's what I believe in, and I don't know how fantasy faiths work. And we're like, I understand that. We understand that because, yeah, sure. But no, it's just fun. Like, but still, everyone believes that there's just a divinely wonderful, good place, and everyone's great there, and you can trust everyone once you walk in those doors, and you can just dump shit off on them. And I'm going to go over to the local temple, and I'm going to donate me some money. I got some cash. I'm going to just throw it at the church. Boop! There you go. Do you even know what you're donating to?
No.
Good.
It'll be fine now.
Do you want a receipt with that donation? Nah, nobody collects taxes in these worlds. We're libertarians.
I'm looking forward to. There's a new. There's a new game. There's 6E coming out. 6E is on its way, and they're saying that it might be the new AD&D.
Oh no!
I'm not looking forward to that. I don't enjoy AD&D. I really like Third Ed over AD&D. Just I like a lot of the thought processes. I like the streamlining and like the monsters that go from CR9 to CR20, whereas like in AD&D, monsters were fairly tough till like 7th level, and then you're fighting Meriliths and Balors.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, they didn't have good monsters in second ed and first ed and basic. As much as I want to say they did not, and it never. The game doesn't really impress me. I like third ed. I really like third edition over basic, over first and second. The only thing in basic I like is the weapon mastery charts, which for you to get weapon mastery officially, you've got to roll super low on the percentile chart whenever you have the time to just sit around and train all day with a mentor. If you don't have the ability to train all day, then you have to spend like double the amount of time. Like, so instead of 12 weeks, you have to spend now 24 weeks by yourself and practice for 8 hours a day. And then you got to roll an OT1 on a percentile.
All I heard is montage.
Yeah, that's all it is. And like this montage goes for 4 years until the player just stops because he's gone through all of his money and he's crying and he's broke and he's not any better with his sword, and he just fucking like leaves his small town and didn't realize like he should have gone to a big town and found an actual weapons master to do this with.
Oh yeah.
Now in my game, I I have a list of things that you get if you succeed. Like, yeah, you improve your weapon critical and your damage goes up and your AC gets better because you're more confident with your weapon ability. But if you fail, there's like a little bitty consolation prize I give you. Where like if you do a 1 minute kata, like I'll give you a +2 damage for a full minute of action. But you have to do a 1 minute kata. So before we get into fights, you got to do this. And that bonus lasts for a year, a full hour. But once you start doing the weapon damage, like a full minute, you have a full minute of +2 damage. So
I had a lot of different attempts at trying to make weapon mastery in schools interesting because one, weapon mastery was just kind of, it's awesome, but a little too awesome, but also lame at the same time. I loved it, but then other games came out that changed my attitude. Once again, Seven Seas, Legend of the Five Rings, Exalted, and Storyteller games arrived, and that changed the landscape for me. So I've had a lot of different attempts at trying to bring schools and weapon styles into it, so that more than just simply you took a weapon feat and now you get to spin, but now you're slightly better with spears, and or the idea of you only know how to use sharp stick. That's all you know how to use. You know a lot of ways to use sharp stick, but you have sharp stick. And the thing is that what I was trying to push for was, and I know I've had a lot of different versions because different players want different ways and different. I've never fully settled into a D&D system that hits everything I want it to do, and I don't think I'm going to because I never got around to it. Never satisfyingly got to it. And I've had players go, "It's fantastic," but I never had widespread adoption. Because one thing I would like to get back to is to actually get kind of I like the idea of, because that was one thing that L5R did fantastic. Seven Seas tried, but L5R was fantastic about giving. You had you had the clan structure, and then you had the families, and then in the families, each family had their own style. that was in there. And I'm like, if I ever make a game, I want, because Seven Seas had, there's your national, your national style, and then and within each nation you had about 2 to 4 different styles that fit those nations. And I'm like, well, shit, I that's four. That's on average, you got 3 to 4 different styles for every single culture, every single clan. So therefore, I can build this unified structure of, hey, there's a lot of different, like, you can be just a generic fighter, and everyone's going to be able to look at you and go, he's got no style. He's just simply the players who have the infamous "all I have is power." You know, whenever you watch a movie, it's like the one guy who actually fucking knows what he's doing beats you up because all you are is a brute. You're a fighter. You have some feats, but you're not really good. Or, and I kind of wanted to show no, there's a certain point where you should be able to transition into creating your style. And I know that's kind of like where I was happy with. And it's why I don't like fifth, because fifth, there's no choices in fifth. And there's no real, and you can have as much flavor as you want in second, but third and Pathfinder, and even Pathfinder 2, gave you directions that you could aim towards creating a style with all your feat combos and creating your specializations. And that did good enough, but if I knew I had a player who was like me, bored. When you look into the system and go, I really don't like this is just, I swing a sword, I hit. This is going back to Table Breaker days of me and my rants of when all your fighting is at its core, I roll, I hit AC, I do hit point damage. There's nothing else to it.
Yeah.
And there's no active defense. That's the one thing. That's why I constantly go back to Legend of the Five Rings and Seven Seas, is that the games produced active defense. The idea of the parry, the deflection, the block, the guard, the move. You're doing something to defend yourself. It's not just simply, well, you could just not take a 10 and just roll a d20 and add all your defensive modifiers.
No. There's 2 ways to go about this.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, one way to fix this. You have a passive defense that your armor provides you.
Mm-hmm.
That's set in stone.
And then you have your active defense.
Yes, and you have the active defense, and you can either block, dodge, or parry. If you have an offhand weapon or a shield, you can block it
and add in.
And so that could possibly injure you because you're still putting your arm out there to intentionally get hit. Or you could parry it with your weapon hand, or you can dodge. Go ahead with your ideas here.
And that's very similar to to the various systems I came up with over the years. And sometimes I get players who don't want that level of complexity, but when I find the player who's sitting there staring at me bored, when they hit the exact same, that they hit the same wall I hit, it's like, I love fighters, but I hate playing them. Because I don't want to just sit there and swing. But when I know I've got a GM who's as into all the various schools and styles shit that I am, oh no. Suddenly the game stops being boring. It's like unlocking this secret expansion DLC when you find a kindred spirit who goes, I too understand your desire to not have boring combat. And suddenly the game becomes way more interesting all of a sudden, because now you're sitting here, the GM is starting to work with you, like sneaking those ideas of, hey, can I roll my attack as a defense score? And suddenly it becomes, and suddenly the GM goes, Yes, because now you've told you and the GM have now made an agreement, a bargain that you two, when you have a sword fight between you and another, and so no longer does the GM have to throw 45 minions at you. He just needs to throw, you know, your nemesis walks out onto the catwalk, and you get to have a sword fight, an interesting one. Yeah, I know, and I know those are not how a real sword fight works, but we're not playing a real sword fight game. If I want a real sword fight, I will play a better game.
Yeah.
It's like,
The way I was thinking is that, like, okay, the attacker still does his D20 roll plus all the bonuses they get, blah, blah, blah. That works. But the defender has the passive bonus of all the bonuses from his armor, not shield, armor. And he can just, that die plus D20 plus those bonuses, this is going to be contested roll. But there's 2d20 you're rolling. One's going to be for your passive armor. The other one's going to be for either your active block or dodge or whatever you're doing. And there's ways to do this and make it work. Talk to me if you want to know more.
yeah,
Because I do have the secret to this. Keep in mind, these rolls cost more time than what you're already spending in game. Good luck.
but that's okay because now you've told the GM that, hey, we can the rocket tag problem of gaming goes away.
Yep.
Now you can spend more time focus on those one or two. The fight becomes okay. Yeah, we can do 120. Like, oh no, we're doing 120 points damage in a single hit. Doesn't fucking matter because, well, you can stop the hit.
Yeah.
You can block. Now that it's like, because this goes back to, again, why I like storyteller RPG better. Because, oh no, I hit and you died in 2 hits. That's okay. You got to hit twice. Well, the thing is that D&D or whatever version or whatever variant you want to go with, where it's just choose D&D flavor of choice, you're gonna get hit a lot. And it's like I watched one of the players when you guys at the start of the clay golem, I think they're up against.
Yep.
Yeah, where the clay golem hit one of the players for all their blood. And I think that's what was going on. I was painting, so at that point, so I wasn't paying as much attention as I should have at the end because it was close to dinner time and I was painting miniatures. But but he got hit for like almost either all of or almost all his hit points.
Almost.
And there's that point of going, well, it would have been nice to have a way to stop from being killed.
Yeah.
And slowing combat down so that way it's like where now you're 2-3 hits, which honestly that means we can go back to hit points being 5, 6, 7 hit points, because that's really honestly that's the one thing I like about the G.I. Joe and Transformer role-playing game that I've been buying and enjoying. They got characters only have 20 hit points, and most attacks
that's
most
ridiculous.
Was that?
That's just ridiculously fucking low, dude. I mean,
now this comes up to only the most heaviest weapons do more than 1 point of damage.
Yeah.
So so people are being shot and you're being hit, and it's doing 1 or a D2 points damage. But when you only have 12 hit points, and that's a lot of hit points. Like, you're a major hero if you got 15 hit points. Like, you can stand in the middle of a big firefight and short of a hiss tank coming over a ridgeline and opening up with its main battery at you, you're You can be the heroic sergeant who's leading all your other Joes into combat and being the hero because the shots are you're getting shot, the hits that are hurting, but you're still you're the hero. You could go into combat, but the thing is that this means that like, hey, I've got 4 to 6 hit points. I could take a few, but hey, that suddenly that scary sniper rifle that does a 1d6 hit points that could drop a hero, that could drop a low level character
Yeah.
pretty fast. Like, oh no, I got hit. Like, oh no, the Baroness took a shot because they actually have like one of the newest books for the Joe book is actually like the main book is like, oh, this is the everyone at their most exalted level, but the newest book goes, no, we're like, if you want to go back to like issue 1 of the original comic book line of like 83, you can play like the original,
The original
1980
series,
comic
the
book.
original chronology of it.
Yeah. So like you're part of the original group of Joes who were hired under Hawk, and like this is before Duke even joins the team. And hey, Cobra Commander isn't at his height yet. He's literally a car salesman. Put the mask on. And they gave Cobra Commander this wonderful ability. And I love it because he's the low level. It's the low level Cobra Commander thing because he wears the mask. Whenever you once per adventure, Cobra Commander can just choose to. Oh no, that wasn't me. That was somebody else.
That was someone else.
Right. So you managed to beat Cobra Commander, beat him down, knock him out, drop him to 0 hit points, knock him down, and then you pull the mask off, and it's somebody who's not him. He's escaping on a trouble bubble. And I went, that's the best rule in the entire universe. Suddenly, you now know why Chrome Dome wears his helmet all the time. And you're like, oh, is that really Cobra Commander? You're not sure. It's great. But it shows you when each character joined the cast up until the arrival, in the comic book, up until the point where it's the main cast who's part of the original miniseries. So when you get to the mass device or to the weather control machine or the Pyramid of Darkness, you finally get to see everybody's now grown into who they were going to be, and you're like, this is an actual cool book. And is it a great role playing game? It's not perfect. Would it be fun for a bunch of Joe fans to go, no, this is I want to do this, and suddenly you got some people who are like going, okay, let's go do this, and suddenly you have that's where, and after reading through that and reading through a few other games and then translating this to D&D, where I realized that everybody only has 4 to 5 hit points in D&D. No matter what level no matter what level you are,
4 to 5 hit points. Yeah,
you can only survive 3 to 5 hits, and then you're down. And suddenly I'm going, why do I need to have 100 modifiers and all these and rolling all this piles of dice when I realize the fireball is 130? Like, we'll take out it is not as good as it used to be because everyone's hit point totals are so high now that 5d6 fireball is like you slightly annoyed somebody, and it's like, and when you have a fighter who hits I swing my sword and I hit you for 95 hit points, and you're like, I can only take 1 more of those. Congratulations, you only have 2 hit points.
Yep.
You only got 2 hits into your life, and then you're down. And then everyone else goes, I got 1. And since hit points and damage seem to scale with each other, you never really get that far away from all your hit point gains negated by increases in damage. Your AC goes up, negated by the increase in the attack value of your villains. your AC doesn't matter, and your hit doesn't matter, your hit points don't matter, and suddenly everything melts away,
Yeah.
and you're sitting there going, "Oh, wait, I can just hey guys, we don't need to level anymore. Why? Doesn't matter. Nothing matters. It's like everyone dies in 3 hits. So
If you want to play like that, you can.
I know, and I I like all the math, and I don't have to play that way. But suddenly, when I realized that's what everything had turned in, that I can shrink down and simplify things to the point where suddenly a lot of the choices that I used to spend forever agonizing over, like, oh, how do I min max this to make this the most effective character? And I'm like, ultimately, it doesn't matter. Play the character you want to play. Play an interesting character. That +1 or +2 increase in having that 20 in a stat, just you can get by with a 16. Why? At low level, it's critical, but at high level, it really doesn't matter. Everything smooths out.
Yeah.
Like, well, it becomes just this nice monotone. And if it's like, can I get past 3rd level? Okay.
Go for it.
Once we're there, and suddenly it's like I have a 14, I have a 14 and 16s in all my stats. What? You're not as effective as you could be. It doesn't matter. I'm not weak at anything.
Here's how I solved the optimization game.
Yeah.
Exploding dice.
Yeah.
And no longer we have to worry about 3 to 5 hits. Now it might be just conceivably 1.
Yeah.
If you want to play a lethal game. And I do.
And the thing is, I would like to have a more heroic game, but the thing is that the game doesn't really give those like D&D is not a heroic game. I'm just gonna.
It's whenever you're dancing around and just playing. I have to smack you harder than you can smack me faster, and that's it. And then just like you're throwing D8s at each other, like it's fucking Star Wars. Hey, good night, Nerdy Ogre.
Good night.
Star Wars miniature combat game where like you're doing a TIE swarm and like everybody fires at once, and so you're like throwing D8s at your opponent. You can't play a game that's not a fun game. It's not. So you need to play a game where like the resolution has to be faster than that. And I'm trying to develop this. I think I'm going to go to the active defense for my game.
Yeah.
And I think I can run it. I don't know if other GMs will be able to figure it out. I think they will. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to start working on it because I think it's a very valid system.
I think so too. And I think it would work well with your system, especially if you find a way. I put in a way that somebody could.
I'll be right back.
No problem.
Okay, so especially if what?
I think with your system, it would work, especially if you put it in a way that has like a counter, so that way it's not just simply trading blocks back and forth.
Yeah.
Give a player a chance to make an opening to make a counter attack.
Mm-hmm.
So that way,
feints, riposte, stuff like that.
Yes.
I want something more involved than what I've got. And right now I'm tired as fuck. You're seeing me fatigued a bit. But for my game, I want this game that's interactive where the players create their own opening. They can create their own way to get a kill shot in. And I'd much rather have that than the fucking hit points and armor class bullshit of basic D&D that's been tuned up for who knows how many versions of basic and the 5 editions they've had of official D&D. I need something more.
Yeah.
It's nothing against the hit point and AC wall. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like I'm just literally playing a video game, and I'm waiting for the Jewish kid to slide over all the hit points to the zero on the abacus, and that's it. Yay, we won! Yay! I need that. I need a better game. And you guys, as gamers, deserve a better tier of game mechanic.
My God, we do. Like, because ultimately, at the end, I think it's why some of us are just where we are is that we we do deserve better, and I. It's kind of weird watching some people accept less than what they should. It really is just this weird state of saying it like that, though. Because
Why is that weird? Why is it weird for you to say, "I want something more than this. This isn't bad. This is a good starting location, but I need something more." Um, like the game that Ogre and Sylvia play in my game, where she tumbles into spot, and he comes in wailing with his axe. She goes for a stab. Now, if gives him assault leader, then anytime she misses with an attack, she can immediately reflect to him and give him an immediate attack chance because her miss creates an opening. And I like that. I really do.
yes,
Travis is like, this is why I love Palladium Fantasy over everything else that D&D's done.
yes, I would love to. I think if it wasn't, I never had a chance to really play Palladium Fantasy as much as I should have. But because at the time I had D&D, I didn't want more fantasy. And on Rifts burnt me out on Palladium. Burnt me out on Palladiums because if I'm going to play Palladium, I'm going to play Macross / Robotech because that's my jam. That's the hey, if I can't run Mech Warrior, I'm going to run my Japanese anime space transformable garbage game.
Yeah.
But the problem here is that the number of people I know who still want to play Macross or Robotech is a dwindling small group, and because there's never been because Palladium doesn't have the license to it, and we're never going to see thanks to certain companies being utter trash, we're never going to see any of the other Macross series ever get updates because we're never going to because laws suck and this one company blows. I would love to run like a Macross 7, Macross Frontier, Macross Delta focused game because when I did run Macross, we were playing Macross Plus games, and we were enjoying the idea of playing in the universe because there's something cool. It's like playing Ace Combat, the role-playing game, but you're a transformable robot on top of playing Ace Combat. And we were playing with the idea like, okay, no, we want the YF-19 or VF as it would eventually become, or we want the YF-22. We want to have all these aircraft. Some of us want to have the Messiah running around. The later Frontier universe fighters running around. We wanted some of the Macross Delta stuff. Some of us wanted to have the idea of it would be cool to play in the colonial fleets that were being sent out from Earth during the diaspora, during the post First Interstellar War diaspora, where humanity realized that putting all its eggs in one basket was a bad idea, so they built the colonial armadas and went out into space. And that's where all the other series take place. Hell, even Plus gave us the hints of, hey, the fleet is out there. The older VF11s and 13s are not holding up. So here's the next generation fighters. Here's the test pilots that are playing, and you saw them show up in 7, and we're like, this is where my mecha friends, my mecha anime friends, were all having fun, but but we weren't able to. There was no support. It's like, do we just continue to adapt the Macross system, the Robotech system, over into playing with the franchises that we wanted to have? And the answer we got was, it's a lot of work. And at that point, well, we could just do something else. And yeah, like, there's like 3 of us who are willing to put the work in, and everyone else is like, yeah, we watched the show too, but they weren't they weren't the gearhead. Like, you got to be a diehard gearhead to be somebody who wants to write the rules up for the to write up mecha stats for all the aircraft and all the death droids and all the warships, and then trying to figure out all the different enemies that all need to have stats now and make them all interesting. Like, at that point, you're writing your own role-playing game, and well, I was running other games at the time, and running Macross Zero, Macross Plus, just my group was no longer there, and well, Rifts burnt me out on, I don't need to have stats for the ever more bizarre Wonderful World of Africa, Russia 1, Russia 2 books, and I'm like, no, this is getting insane. I'm done. But God, I wanted to enjoy Rifts. I so wanted to, but I think I burnt out roughly around the War for Quebec books, or sorry, the Tolkien War books. Where Canada has too many glitter boys and the CS wants to crush him, and I was like, I'm
Coalition
done.
Wars, but it doesn't suck.
The Coalition War books, yeah,
There's 6 of them.
Yeah, trying to keep up with all those books, and
There's a chronological series of how the war plays out, and I think it's actually just a rifter. I'm going to show you something that you're going to get upset about.
Probably not, but let's go for it.
This is an old game. Do you see it?
I can see it. This looks fun. Is this single player?
This is your mecha FPS, the way it should be done. And this game was ignored.
Oh, that's a shame. What was it called again?
Vector Strike. Good luck finding it. The store page is only available to me because I own it, but it's disappeared.
Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, the only game that has that name attached to it now is a soccer game. Team sucks. Yeah, this would have been fun. This would have been crazy fun. Oh well.
Fucking pissed me off. I can customize everything on my mecha. Everything. fucking dicks. People fucking played Call of Duty over this shit. What in the fuck is wrong with you, you fucking retards?
That would have been a great game to play, it looks like, had I known it existed.
Yeah, 10 years ago I could have played you with this. I didn't realize that you had Steam. Steam ran on a fucking Unreal 3 engine. So a toaster could play this.
That's true. Instead, I boringly play Elite Dangerous and be a space trucker.
God damn it, I hate Elite Dangerous.
I do too.
I wanted to like it. Everybody wanted to like it.
It's the best game that sucks.
I don't understand how come that game had so much fucking journalists slobbering all over its fucking pasty little dick. And this game was out. This game was $14.
It would have been great.
Had a little campaign for you single player faggots. You know, I mean, I'm in there. I love.
I'm one of those. That's why all I would have played.
Yeah, that's how you got like extra stuff for your mech to be available. You know,
right?
I mean, this game was fun. This game was so much fun. IGN even liked it, which might have been the reason why it died. Who is Rage Quit Corporation? Oh, they don't exist anymore. Let's look for a Rage Quit Corporation.
Yes, physical media is definitely important. That's weird. He'll be back. I can almost guarantee it. Sorry about this. I'm not good at filling the dead air. Nah, he's not. He's too angry to sleep just yet. I need something new to play or something to try to do that's not a Souls-like or a Survivor game. And here he is teasing with the idea of, hey, look, there's a game that was cool once. Well, shit. Is there anything cool that has... No, that's not cool. Okay, nothing cool in Transformers. God, I would need to just find enough people in a time slot to run L5R. I mean, probably would if I was to run it. Probably set it back to when the best all the best adventures are happening, aka the lead up to the Scorpion Clan coup. So it's there you still have all the clans available, so it isn't just simply the only Scorpions Kachiko. So No, I still want the Scorpion Clan around, so that way you can go to like Ryoko Owari or to Baden Pass and be able to go and see the fun places before all the shit happens. Because the thing here is that the clan war, the Scorpion Clan coup and the clan war, only really feel right when you know all the players who are involved. So, like, if I was to drop most players who've never played O5R into Rokugan without a frame of reference, and then say it's the middle of the Scorpion Clan coup, and then or it's the middle of the Clan Wars, and players would go, I don't understand why is this guy why is a I why is this a certain Nakoto? Why is he so important as a Ronin? Why is this guy? Why is every Scorpion player now told they can't play Scorpions because the Scorpions don't exist, but they do exist, but you don't know because they've all been disbarred. And why is the Emperor sick? Why are the crabs angry? Why is the unicorns doing stupid unicorn things? Because the unicorns don't fucking matter.
Sorry
Actually,
about the
no, it's
disconnect.
okay. And or why are the dragons like? Why is the dragons doing stupid things? Or why is everyone doing stupid shit? And then you're like, well, because you've missed the lead up. You've missed the 3 years of build up that lead to the most important moment ever, which is the Scorpions failing miserably to stop something terrible. But the thing is that the fun part here is that if I'm running the game, and I guarantee you I would, one, I wouldn't follow the exact timeline. So therefore, for anyone who wants to read ahead, I'm sorry. On this certain date, the coup does not happen. You don't know exactly what year it's going to happen, but if you're a Scorpion player, you know it's coming. In fact, the Scorpion players probably are all clued in saying something's coming, but they're not going to tell you yet. And as it gets closer and closer, the hints of something terrible is some terrible burden that only they can take care of begins to creep in. Meanwhile, you have to deal with the fact that somewhere there's a prophecy that's very terrible, and the dragon kind of know it, the phoenix kind of know it, and somewhere in the darkness, the crabs stand on the Great Wall against the forces of evil and darkness and fight their daily battle against corruption, sacrificing their own people to hold back the night, and they can sense something's coming, but they can't put their finger on it, and their scouts can't find it. But the forces of darkness are sitting out there laughing and waiting, and you don't know, but you're asking for help because you know something's coming. And why isn't anyone coming to help you? You know it's coming. In fact, your inquisitors are out there exploring and looking into it. Meanwhile, I said the Scorpions are all playing. The crane are being dicks, and the lions are being dicks, and they're useless because they're too busy squabbling, and they're so busy with themselves, so far up their own assholes that they're not paying attention to anyone else, and everyone else knows it. You have out at the sea, you have oh god, the Mantis clan, which is sitting here out there going, we're technically a clan, but we're not recognized yet. And there's all these pieces that are slowly moving into place. And the fun part about running all of this is that the machinery that is happening, that's slowly grinding towards the coup, is happening. And but there's so many moving pieces that no individual who's playing at the ground level should know it's coming. Like you're too busy being a band of, most likely, if I can get players who are interested into it, is either going to be a bunch of Emerald Magistrates running around doing Emerald Magistrate stuff and slowly uncovering things, or if we can actually get everyone to play to, hey, does everyone want to play the same clan? And suddenly now we can all get into clan politics, and then the story becomes way more interesting because now suddenly you're a bunch of Scorpion players, and now you gotta know something terrible's coming, or if you're playing hell a Kolot campaign, good luck. Nobody wants to run one of those. Actually, everyone wants to run one of those, but no one realizes we're playing a Kolot campaign except for the Kolot players. And don't worry, there are no Kolot players. You're all Kolot players. No one tell anyone. Congratulations for playing Paranoia L5R edition. And there's a reason why for a long time it was a funny little key phrase, and we used it from Transformers. But when you walk up to somebody and you used the universal greeting, and they knew and because when you're playing L5R, no one's going to walk up to you and say "ba weep, guana weep, nitty bong." And for those of you who are in the know, suddenly you realize that was the activation phrase. Hello, fellow Kolot player. We're now all going to be conspiring against everyone else. That's a fun way of doing things, but the game could be but at that point you're not just playing, okay, so we're playing a conspiracy within a conspiracy within a conspiracy to hold back the fact that the universe is evil, and we want to hold back the forces of darkness, the forces who are trying to unmake reality and overthrow the celestial order, to overthrow heaven itself, to bring humanity into to its rightful place as the dominant powers on the planet. Wow, this is going to get really confusing really fast. Or I can just have players who are sitting here going, "Hi, welcome to L5R. You are all going to go and play level rank 1 Insight characters who are Insight probably 100 characters who are just passing your Genpuku ceremony. You are now adults. You're all going to now earn your adult name. You may now grant yourself a name after we do this a few little mechanical things to teach you how to play the game. And now you get to go wander into a very, very big world where everyone can stab you at any time, and everyone wants to kill everyone. Congratulations, enjoy the game." Well, what can we do? Almost anything and nothing at the same time. That doesn't help me at all. No, it doesn't. Congratulations, you're a samurai. Who's your lord? I have this lord. Your lord doesn't give a shit about you. Just show up at roll call and pay your taxes. And then you watch players kind of go, "This is confusing. Congratulations, you're all playing Emerald Magistrates. Your job is to go wander around and send the Emperor's law to all the peasants out there, because somebody stupid out there is doing something stupid, and your band of cops of congratulations, you are now all junior Cub Scout members of the Texas Rangers, wandering around stabbing people who are doing dumb shit." That sounds, I know, dumb, but it's fun. And that's what we're here for. Fun. So yeah, L5R is a wonderful game, and then I would just need to know, A, a group of players who want to play it, and B, how deep into the lore they want to jump when they go into it. Because the color-coded rainbow books behind me say up to the Day of Thunder, I got a lot of because the Day of Thunder will be where I stop running things, because Hidden Emperor and anything past Hidden Emperor is kind of stupid. I don't know. I might go through Hidden Emperor or up to the Gates of Heaven parts where, I think I might just stop at Hidden Chicken. But no, the Hidden Emperor is where I would probably stop, because Day of Thunder is such a climactic event, and that's if I would even want to run Day of Thunder. Because that's the thing. If my players are having fun, I don't need to actually run the Scorpion Clan coup, or maybe the coup actually works and the Scorpions actually manage to prevent the prophecy from happening. which, if you know the prophecy, I, spoilers for an almost 30-year-old game storyline. But when you're trying to prevent the Dark Lord of Darkness from returning to the universe, and you're like, maybe we could save the universe by stabbing two guys and overthrowing the Empire.
Yeah, could happen.
It could happen. Fuck yeah. But then again, there's a fun part of having the 12 black scrolls being opened, and you're like, yeah, black scrolls. And the player's like, I have no idea what the black scrolls are. And at which point you should be, as a GM, going, good. There are no black scrolls. What are the black scrolls? Some of the most powerful, evil, darkest spells in the entire game. That sounds awesome. No, they're not. Because it's kind of like each time you open one, horrible things happen. And the Dark Lord gets to come back closer and closer to being reborn back to the world, because he can't come back to life until all of them have been until the 13th, the final scroll has been opened. But the final scroll doesn't exist. Where's the final scroll hidden? Nobody's going to tell you. Oh, because how do I do that? You got to kill a god. Wait, what? It's in a god. Huh? It's in a god who's in his book says he has infinite actions around. It states that in the book. Infinite actions around. He can kill you, disassemble you to your atoms, reassemble you, bring you back to life, then kill you again in one round. What? And he's the one who possesses the final one. Oh, how do I get this? You ask. Wait, what? You ask him.
Just curious.
He has to kill himself to give you the scroll. He dies. A god dies, so you can resurrect the dark god, so he becomes mortal. So kind of a Big Trouble Little China moment of, ha ha ha, I am alive. Lopan gets to go, I'm alive, and then gets stabbed in the head with a knife. But up until that point, he's immortal. He's a god who can't be killed. And the Day of Thunder can't happen if he's not mortal. So you have to go unleash plagues upon the country as you open up each one to terrible things that happen, and people are dying, and then you got to go ask a god, please die so we can kill your brother. And he's like, all right. And but that's fuck nobody. And yes, L5R is like Mage the Ascension. It's the most interesting game that you'll never play.
I would love if our culture would change a bit. I like Mage the Ascension. For the little bit of time that I spent with it, it was a very fun game. My problem was I had a very unreliable GM.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem with that game. It attracts really nice but narcissistic people.
It does.
So you're going to have like a real issue getting someone that can dedicate time and says, I could run this and have more friends play this than our D&D game. The problem with games like Mage, Vampire, Demon, Wraith, all that, as a GM that has a background from Western civilization, Christian-based country like I do, a lot of people will look at that and be like, I want to play that, but if I get seen, I'm a deacon at church, or I'm a well-respected man in my company, or I'm this or that, and if I'm tied in with an occult game that could trigger a 2020s satanic panic like what we had in the 1980s, as much as D&D 5e is mainstream, and it's mainstream to hell, but now Mage the Ascension or any other game like that in the World of Darkness stuff, like it easily ties into occult or things that normies don't understand. And not that I'm big on, I want to know more about hermetic magic and shit like that. No, I don't, I'm not that guy. I don't care. I'm in this world of reality, and I like paying my bills and having my taxes done right.
Yeah.
There's a problem, and the fact is that this is almost a game that you yourself must masquerade that you don't play it to normies, because
Yep.
I don't want to have them find out like, yeah, the live action version of our game, it's all furries and they just wear werewolf masks and ferret masks, and whenever we inhabit a hotel, like there's pregnancies 10 months later. We can't you masquerade this shit. And then you have other great games like L5R that should have a fucking dedicated base.
Here it is.
It shouldn't be a cult game. It shouldn't be a game that very few people play. It should be a game that a lot of people play because there's a resurgence due to the fact there's lame fucking modern mainstream games out there right now that are doing nothing to further the gaming culture. So if you go back to good games and start running them and showing people like, this is what you missed. This was out 10 years ago. This was out 15 years ago. Play good games. Play games that are worth money for you to search out an author 5 years after he's out of the publishing game. Find him at a game store or convention. Shake his hand like, dude, I owe you money because I played like a year of your game, and maybe you saw some of it on Facebook or the updates or whatever, and I appreciate what you did. You deserve to do that for that guy because he bettered your life. Like many of us probably should have gone out and said thank you to Dave Arneson or Gary Gygax, despite what we might think of them personally. They did build a bridge for us so other good, talented authors could make games that we want to play over and over and over again.
Yes.
Sorry. And then Travis is like, oh, they won't think you're a Satanist. They'll just assume you're gay. You're gay.
I know. And trying to explain, like, at work, is like, oh shit. Like, hey, what do you do for fun? Board games. I play board games. Really? That's a very complex board game you're playing there. Yes. Yes, I am. my my current board game needs me to figure out what the current cost at MREs is right now. Thank you.
So
Wait.
So here's what's going on right now in Stone Mountain, Georgia, at the ruins of the once formerly mighty offices for what was that? White Wolf Studios, now Obsidian. Wait.
I love Settlers of Catan.
And it's blue every night. Give it a room. Never stand still. Keep your love a lovely dream and never wake it. Come on, Mike. Keep it gay. 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 Keep it gay.
God bless you, William.
The bad part is you're not wrong. The people who are currently running a lot of things, that is 100% correct.
Yeah, they're fucking ruining all this shit. They're diddling the fucking books. They're making horrible games. Meanwhile, I can't have time to fucking write my goddamn dream RPG because I gotta fucking focus on Miss Crazy herself. Like, is it drugs or is it fucking psychotic break or who knows? And who cares? But god damn it, they can just like copy paste from second ed into the third edition, change like 6 or 7 words, completely bastardize the game, take away all the coolness. I completely hate Obsidian. Or not, is it Obsidian Games or Obsidian? The people that took over White Wolf, the fuckers that took over White Wolf completely have tanked their fucking brand. Sorry. And Travis, listen, dude, trade wood for sheep all day.
Definitely.
We've been talking for almost 2.5 hours, and part of this, I'm not gonna lie, I've been fatigued on this. I'm like, guy's just going. He's just going on. He's He's talking. He's continuing to talk. I'm here. If I open my mouth in this moment of fatigue, then I'm just going to sound like a blathering idiot white man.
Nope, it's okay. I'm also in that same boat of sleep sounds good right now.
It does.
Also, I think my coffee's wearing out, so I either drink more coffee or go to sleep.
I really want to. I want to finish up this bookshelf.
Ooh,
I do want to finish that, but
yeah. Ugh.
before I move, anyway, next
I
week.
got a bunch of mechs for later.
I don't know what's going to happen over the course of the week. I know I'm moving out of here.
Yeah.
I got to provide myself with a place to be, and I'm sure I can get that. But y'all be careful, be good. If I don't see you before Christmas, Merry Christmas. But I'm going to see you before fucking the end of Hanukkah, I guarantee.
All right.
Thank you for being part of this. Steve does sound good, doesn't it, Travis?
It sounds amazing. And then I get to go out and shovel the driveway because 4.5 more inches fell today.
You know, I don't miss Illinois.
I don't miss. I wish I did. I wish I could say that.
You know, here's the thing. Winter's good. Winter's fine for one reason. You have to have a mitigating factor in Darwin's favor because otherwise you live down here with us. And whenever it rains in San Antonio, our 70 and 65 mile per hour speed limit interstate we have, it's raining now, and all of a sudden everybody puts on their fucking hazard lights and they slow down to 35 miles per hour and they drive very slow.
It's
With their hazard lights on, and you're watching people age. They just had a birthday 20 seconds ago, and it feels like for the next 57 seconds a full day will eclipse. This is the most miserable life I've ever had in inclement weather because I love it when it rains. When it rains, I'll go out. I'll be like that basic bitch. I'll just throw my arms out wide and hit me God over my mouth. And I love it when it rains. I'll even dance or do a little jig. But I'm telling you, when it rains in San Antonio, people fucking get worried. They go to the store, they go to HEB, they grab a gallon of fucking milk. Get a gallon of whole milk. I want the baby to be healthy. You know, it's fucking hilarious. These guys don't understand. Like, normal life here is 80 to 85 degrees. 11, 12 months a year, you're going to have maybe 3 weeks without the AC on. Right now, I've got the AC on because it's like 74 degrees outside. But that's San Antonio. Anyway, all of you be careful. All of you be good. Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. God bless you. Jesus loves you. If you need help getting saved, go talk to a good guy with a nice little funny collar and a white spot on it. If there's anything you else want to talk about, put it in the comments, put it in the chat. Let me know what you want to discuss. Because me and Kai could talk connectivity, game theory, and how to get your players from level 1 to level 20 in Tolus within 24 short months. Any day. That's something we could probably do. That's a gauntlet. Anyway, thank you. We'll see you next time.
Till then, take care.